A Minnesota man was found guilty of first-degree premeditated murder and second-degree intentional murder, and he is currently serving life in prison without parole. And the reason why he was charged was because he took the life of a co-worker back in 2022. The reason why he took that life was because she had rejected his advances. The man that took her life was a man named Michael Carpenter. So if you enjoy understanding criminal minds and the reason why people commit crime, then you'll like today's story as we dive into the mind frame of Michael Carpenter. So today's story takes place with our victim, Nicole Hammond. Now, friends and family remember Nicole as a beautiful, smart, and determined young woman who had hoped that one day she could open her own jewelry business. In her spare time, she enjoyed photography and kayaking. Her family will even say that she was a very talented writer and enjoyed working on her car with her father. Nicole worked for DeBow Textile in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And while working there, that's where she met Michael Carpenter. Now, everybody remember Nicole as a very hard worker who was very dependable and helped out anybody in need. Now, everything was fine until one fateful morning on October 29th of 2022 around 6:59 a.m. Nicole had just gotten to work and was just getting out of her car when a man had approached her. And as the man was approaching, he pulled out a 9mm, aimed it at her, and fired. And after he fired a single shot at her, he had took off and left the area. And had left Nicole in the parking lot with a single gunshot to the neck. Police were shortly arrived. They tried to give her life-saving measures, but it was to no avail. Nicole had passed away in the parking lot. Now, during their investigation, they would end up getting a lead on who this person may have been, in which from eyewitness testimony came to find out to be Michael Carpenter. Police would arrive at Michael's residence and start questioning him about what happened that morning. Michael responds saying that he was walking towards Nicole's car when he heard the gunshots. And he said after hearing gunshots, he just took off and left. Now, the police would sit there and wonder why he didn't help her because, one, he didn't call 911, nor did he try to help stop the bleeding. But the entire time that Michael was talking, the police knew that they had their suspect. So police would go ahead and arrest Michael without incident, and upon the search of his residence, they would find a gun. And after testing ballistics, they kind of find out it was the same weapon used to gun down Nicole. Now, after eyewitness statements as well as going through his phone, they kind of find out the reason why he did all this. Michael had been texting Nicole the night before, in which Nicole replied back asking him if he can stop touching her, as well as not try to manipulate her as well either. She also asked him not to make things uncomfortable at work. And upon questioning co-workers, they would even collaborate that story by saying that Michael would constantly harass Nicole and that he also had a bad temper. Now, the behaviors that Michael has been showing all the way up to that point is what you would call intimacy seeker. Now, what an intimacy seeker is a person that never had a prior relationship with the object of their affection, in which they convince themselves that the person that they are obsessed with are destined to be together, in which they will shower that person with letters, or in this case, text messages, emails, or gifts, and they would take the slightest reaction of that person as a sign of their love. Now, the intimacy seeker will believe that they are secretly in love, but they can't be together due to external circumstances, such as their profession, social class, or if the person they are obsessed with is in a relationship with somebody else. And they feel that those things are in the way from the person they are obsessed with from professing their love. Now, the CEO of the company, Bob DeBow, never knew that there was an incident going on. He would even state that Nicole never made an incident report about Michael harassing her. He would even state that anytime there is anything that requires their intervention, they are more than happy to step in. In this case, there were no indications. Now, during court proceedings, Michael would walk into the courtroom just smiling, knowing that he took the life of somebody. And throughout the court proceedings, they would say the reason why Michael had took the life of Nicole was because he felt that if he couldn't have her, nobody could. So with the court proceedings, Michael is exhibiting what's known as rejected revenge-seeking stalker. Now, what a rejected revenge-seeking stalker is a person who was rejected and swears vengeance. So they want the person to pay for rejecting them as well as bruising their ego. Because in their mind, they're trying to figure out how dare that person rejects them. And all because Nicole had rejected him, he saw her out that morning and took her life. So with all the evidence stacked against him, he was found guilty of first-degree premeditated murder and second-degree intentional murder. He was given life without the possibility of parole. So that concludes our story for today. So what do you think? Do you feel that management knew about the harassment and did nothing? And do you feel that companies should have a much more strict harassment policy? Go ahead and leave your comment down below. And if you like more criminal mind cases like this, go ahead and stay tuned for more videos to come. If you're new, go ahead and check out my other previous videos as well. And with that, be safe and take care of one another.